film carried the wide silence of the frontier, the loneliness of men growing older, the courage of those who still chased one last dream, and the sadness that followed every goodbye. It was not only a story about cowboys, it was a story about friendship, loyalty, age, unfinished hopes, and the kind of losses no one can outrun. But beyond the screen, time also left deep marks on the cast. Some continued to live quietly, some have sadly passed away, and some faces now feel even more moving than we remembered them. In this video, we will look back at the cast of Lonesome Dove then and now, where they are today, who is still alive, who has died, and why their roles remain unforgettable. Watch the whole video, because the most interesting and touching part is yet to come. 1. Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall played Woodrow F. Call in Lonesome Dove in 1989, the stern former Texas Ranger whose silence often spoke louder than words. Beside Tommy Lee Jones's Gus McCrae, Call became the hard edge of the story, loyal, disciplined, wounded inside, and unable to say the things that mattered until time had almost run out. Duvall was born on January the 5th, 1931, and died on February 15th, 2026, at the age of 95. His final chapter was quiet and dignified. According to statements reported after his death, Duvall died peacefully at home. In a career that stretched across decades, he carried the weight of many unforgettable men, from The Godfather to Apocalypse Now, from Tender Mercies to the open plains of Lonesome Dove. After Lonesome Dove, Duvall never truly left the screen. He continued acting, directing, and choosing roles with the patience of a man who understood character from the inside. In private life, he was married 4 times and had no children. His 4th wife, Luciana Pedraza, remained with him in his later years, sharing his love of Argentina and tango. At the time of his death, his net worth was widely estimated at around $50 million. By 2026, Woodrow F. Call feels even more haunting. He reminds viewers of pride, regret, loyalty, and the pain of men who love deeply but cannot speak it. And that is why Robert Duvall remains unforgettable. 2. Danny Glover. Danny Glover played Joshua Dietz in Lonesome Dove in 1989, the loyal scout and former Texas Ranger, whose quiet dignity gave the story one of its deepest emotional centers. Dietz was not the loudest man on the trail. He did not need to be. With a glance, a pause, or a few soft words, he carried wisdom, kindness, and the sorrow of a man who had seen too much of the frontier. Glover was born on July the 22nd, 1946, and is 79 years old in 2026. While he has faced personal health challenges, including a long private battle with epilepsy in his youth, he overcame them to become a tireless advocate for others. In recent years, he has moved with a slower, more deliberate grace, yet his voice remains a powerful instrument. He has avoided the flashy Hollywood sunset, choosing instead to focus on human rights and independent film, proving that the heart of a scout never truly stops searching for justice. After Lonesome Dove, Glover became a global household name, most notably through the Lethal Weapon franchise. However, his soul always belonged to more profound stories. He used his fame to fund art that mattered, shifting from blockbuster hero to a respected producer and activist. His personal life saw its share of transitions, including a long marriage to Asake Bomani and a later union with Eliane Cavallero, always maintaining a level of privacy and class that is rare in the modern age. By 2026, Danny Glover's net worth is estimated at $40 million. His wealth is held in his tireless work for the United Nations and his vast library of cultural contributions. To the audience today, he isn't just an actor from an old Western, he is the man who taught us that the greatest strength is found in kindness. When we see him now, we still see glimpses of Dietz, a man who walked his own path, guided by a map only he could read. 3. Robert Urich. In 1989, Robert Urich brought a tragic elegance to Jake Spoon, the man who loved too easily and ran too fast. With his effortless charm and those restless eyes, Urich made us care for a character who was essentially a lost soul. At 42, he was the quintessential handsome drifter. Sadly, the trail ended much too soon for the man behind the character. Robert Urich passed away in 2002 at the age of 55, leaving a void in the hearts of those who grew up watching his bright smile light up the screen. The tragedy of Robert Urich's life wasn't on a dusty trail, but in a doctor's office. In 1996, he was diagnosed with synovial sarcoma, an incredibly rare form of soft tissue cancer. His final years were a testament to a courage that Jake Spoon never possessed. He didn't hide. He became a public advocate for cancer research, undergoing grueling treatments while continuing to work. He fought for 6 years with a grace that left the world in awe, eventually succumbing to complications from the disease in a hospital in Thousand Oaks. At the time of his passing, Urich's estate was valued at approximately $3 million, but his true assets were the lives he touched through his charity, the Urich Fund for Sarcoma Research. By 2026, he is remembered not for a collection of luxury cars, but as the actor who faced his own mortality with the dignity of a true ranger. To watch him as Jake Spoon today is to see a beautiful, fleeting spark, a reminder that while time steals the man, it can never dim the light of a performance that felt so very alive. 4. Frederick Forrest. Frederick Forrest gave us Blue Duck, the chilling, enigmatic shadow that haunted the plains of Lonesome Dove. He was the predator in the tall grass, a character so menacing that he needed very few lines to leave an indelible mark on our collective memory. At 53, Forrest brought a terrifying, feral intensity to the screen. Sadly, the sun set on this legendary character actor in June 2023. He passed away at the age of 86, leaving behind a legacy of performances that were as raw as the frontier itself. The end of his journey was a quiet, private battle. Forrest spent his final years in Santa Monica, struggling with a long-term illness that eventually required 24-hour care. It was a poignant contrast. The man who once played such explosive, violent characters became fragile and still. His friends, including Bette Midler, actually turned to fans to help fund his care, a detail that deeply moved those who remembered him in his prime. He passed away peacefully, surrounded by the echoes of a life lived intensely through art. By 2026, Frederick Forrest is remembered as a cornerstone of New Hollywood. While his net worth at death was estimated at around $2 million, his true estate was the fear and awe he inspired in generations of viewers. He didn't leave behind a fleet of cars, but a gallery of ghosts. Characters like Blue Duck that remind us how thin the line is between civilization and the wild. To look back at him now is to realize that while the man has left the trail, the chill he sent down our spines remains as cold as a prairie winter. 5. D.B. Sweeney. In the 1989 epic, D.B. Sweeney gave us Dish Boggett, the earnest, love-struck cowboy whose heart belonged entirely to Lorena Wood. He was the face of youthful longing, a man who would follow a dream across 1,000 miles of dust just for a single look. At 27, Sweeney possessed a raw, boyish vulnerability that made him the perfect underdog of the Hat Creek Crew. Today, in 2026, he is 64 years old, and while the trail dust has settled, that spark of sincerity in his eyes remains unchanged. He has navigated the passing years with a quiet strength, avoiding the health crises that often plague veteran actors. While he has faced the natural trials of aging and the immense pressure of sustaining a career in an ever-shifting industry, he has remained remarkably grounded. After Lonesome Dove, Sweeney didn't chase the hollow glitz of superstardom. He became one of the industry's most reliable journeymen, moving seamlessly between film, television, and voiceover work. He found a different kind of peace away from the cameras, marrying Ashley Vachon in 2000 and building a life centered on family rather than fame. He never left the craft, but he chose to lead a life that was un-Hollywood, stable, private, and deeply respected by his peers. As of 2026, D.B. Sweeney's net worth stands at an estimated $8 million. He doesn't flaunt a collection of supercars. Instead, his wealth is found in his deep connection to the military community through his USO work and his timeless body of work. To us, he will always be the boy on the horse, staring at the horizon and hoping for love. Seeing him now reminds us that while dreams might change, the integrity of a man who stays true to himself is the greatest treasure of all. 6. Ricky Schroder. In the sun-drenched dust of 1989, Ricky Schroder gave us Newt Dobbs, the heart of Lonesome Dove. He was the unacknowledged son searching for a father's nod, a boy coming of age on a brutal trail. At just 19, Schroder shed his child star image from Silver Spoons to embody the grit and vulnerability of the frontier. Today, in 2026, he is 56 years old. To look at him now is to see the echoes of that young rider, though the innocence has long since been replaced by the weathered wisdom of a man who has lived many lives. While Schroder remains physically active, his journey hasn't been without its shadows. He has navigated the immense psychological pressure of transitioning from a beloved child icon to a complex adult figure. In recent years, he has faced personal health reflections and the natural toll of a high-stakes life in the public eye. His personal life saw a major shift with a quiet, painful divorce from Andrea Bernard in 2016 after 24 years of marriage. He chose to step back from the limelight, finding a solitary peace on his ranch, much like the characters he once portrayed. By 2026, Ricky Schroder's net worth is estimated at $25 million. He doesn't prioritize a fleet of modern supercars. His wealth is tied to the land and the authentic Western lifestyle he champions. To the audience, he remains the son of the Hat Creek crew, a symbol of potential and the bittersweet nature of inheritance. Watching him today, we don't just see an actor, we see the passage of time itself, reminding us that even the youngest writers eventually become the elders of their own stories. 7. Angelica Houston. Angelica Houston gave us Clara Allen, the only woman strong enough to challenge Gus McCrae and wise enough to survive the frontier. She was the soul of the Nebraska plains, portraying a woman who had lost everything, yet surrendered nothing. At 37, Houston brought a regal, heartbreaking intelligence to the screen. Today, in 2026, she is 74 years old. Her face, still strikingly elegant, has become a living map of cinematic history, carrying the same fierce independence that made Clara unforgettable. Life for Houston hasn't always mirrored the strength of her characters. She has navigated the complexities of aging in an industry obsessed with youth, choosing to do so with raw honesty. While she has remained physically resilient, she has been open about the emotional toll of a life lived in the spotlight. After the cattle drive ended, Houston's career soared with iconic roles like Morticia Adams, but her personal life held deep trials. The death of her husband, sculptor Robert Graham, in 2008, marked a profound turning point. She chose not to remarry, finding solace in her writing and her animals on her ranch in California. Like Clara, she learned to live with the ghosts of the men she loved, proving that a woman's greatest journey is often the one she takes alone, guided by her own creative fire. As of 2026, Angelica Houston's net worth is estimated at $50 million. She doesn't define her success by a collection of luxury cars. Her wealth is stored in her sprawling estate and a legendary filmography. To us, she remains the woman standing on the porch, watching the riders vanish into the horizon. She is a reminder that beauty isn't found in perfection, but in the strength to endure. Watching her now, we see a legend who has mastered the art of growing old without ever losing her soul. 8. Chris Cooper. A young Chris Cooper introduced us to July Johnson, the sheriff of Fort Smith, who was forced into a world far more brutal than his heart was prepared for. He played July with a haunting, tragic innocence, a man chasing a shadow while his own world crumbled behind him. At 37, this was Cooper's breakout moment. Today, in 2026, he is 74 years old. The youthful uncertainty of July Johnson has long since evolved into the face of one of the most respected character actors in American history. Beyond the screen, Chris Cooper's life has been marked by a profound, real-life sorrow that would have broken a lesser man. For years, he and his wife, Marianne Leone, devoted their lives to their son, Jesse, who suffered from cerebral palsy. The loss of Jesse in 2005 at just 17 years old became the defining tragedy of Cooper's life. It changed him. He didn't lean into the Hollywood glare for sympathy. Instead, he carried that grief into his craft, giving his later performances a depth and a lived-in sadness that often leaves audiences breathless. After Lonesome Dove, Cooper's career became a masterclass in subtlety, eventually winning an Oscar for adaptation. He never became a tabloid fixture or a hunter of fame. He stayed rooted in Massachusetts, far from the artificial lights of Los Angeles, choosing roles that demanded honesty over vanity. By 2026, Chris Cooper's net worth is estimated at $10 million. To the audience, he remains the moral pulse of the story, the man who taught us that even when you lose your way, you keep walking. Watching him now, we see a man who has mastered the most difficult trail of all, staying true to oneself while the world keeps changing. 9. Glenn Headley. Glenn Headley played Elmira Boot Johnson in Lonesome Dove in 1989. She played Elmira with a detached, tragic beauty, a ghost moving through the lives of men like July Johnson. At 34, Headley brought a unique, fragile intensity to the screen. Tragically, the final curtain fell far too early for this gifted artist. Glenna Headley passed away in June 2017 at the age of 62, leaving behind a legacy as ethereal and unforgettable as the character she portrayed. Nyad. She died unexpectedly due to complications from a pulmonary embolism while in the middle of filming the series Future Man. Her final days were not spent in a long battle with illness, but in the vibrant heat of her craft. It was a departure that felt as abrupt and heartbreaking as Elmira's own disappearance into the wild, leaving her colleagues and fans in a state of sudden, profound mourning. After Lonesome Dove, Headley's career was a testament to her incredible range. From the comedic brilliance of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels to her Emmy-nominated work in ER. Her personal life found its steady rhythm with her second husband, Byron McCulloch, with whom she shared a quiet, devoted life away from the Hollywood noise. She was an actor who valued the truth of a moment above all else, proving she was far more grounded than the restless Elmira. By 2026, Glenn Headley is remembered as a pure actor, a talent that didn't need stunts or scandals to be seen. While her estate was valued at approximately $5 million at the time of her passing, her true wealth remains her ability to make the audience feel the loneliness of the human spirit. To watch her, as Elmira today, is to see a spirit that was always just passing through, reminding us how precious and fleeting every performance truly is. 10. Barry Corbin. Barry Corbin played Roscoe Brown in Lonesome Dove in 1989, the bumbling, kind-hearted deputy who stepped far outside his comfort zone for the sake of duty. He provided the much-needed warmth and unintended humor in a world that was often cold and cruel. At 49, Corbin portrayed Roscoe not just as a sidekick, but as a symbol of the ordinary man facing extraordinary fears. Today, in 2026, Barry Corbin is 85 years old, a living testament to the enduring strength of the classic American character actor. In recent years, he faced a daunting health battle with oral cancer, undergoing grueling surgeries that threatened his signature voice. Yet, he didn't retreat. He faced the illness with the same grit as the pioneers he often portrayed, returning to work with a scarred but steady resolve. It is a detail that moves his fans deeply, seeing that the man who played the timid deputy is, in reality, a warrior of the highest order. After Lonesome Dove, Corbin didn't let Hollywood change his soul. He became a staple of beloved shows like Northern Exposure, but his heart always remained in Texas. He lives on a ranch, breeding cutting horses and staying connected to the land. His personal life saw the trials of 3 marriages, but he found his greatest peace in the solitude of the country and the respect of his children. He never sought the A-list glitter, choosing instead to be the authentic voice of the West, both on and off the screen. By 2026, Barry Corbin's net worth is estimated at $4 million. He holds a permanent place in the Western Walk of Fame. But to us, he is still Roscoe, reminding us that even the most unassuming among us can leave a footprint that the wind can never blow away. 12. Diane Lane. Diane Lane gave us Lorena Wood, the Lori whose journey from a dusty saloon to the harsh Montana wilderness became the emotional anchor of Lonesome Dove. She portrayed a woman of haunting beauty and silent, shattering trauma, seeking a San Francisco that was more a state of mind than a destination. At just 24, Lane brought a soul-piercing vulnerability to the role. Today, in 2026, she is 61 years old, possessing a refined, timeless grace that reflects a woman who, much like Lorena, survived the storm to find her own strength. She has avoided the health crises that often shadow long careers, maintaining a natural vitality that shuns the artificial pressures of Hollywood. While she has spoken candidly about the emotional labor of portraying such wounded characters, her real-life journey has been one of steady endurance. She has faced the natural passage of time not with fear, but with a quiet dignity, choosing to age with the same honesty she brought to the screen. After the trail ended, Lane's career saw a magnificent resurgence with films like Unfaithful, proving her depth was limitless. Her personal life, however, mirrored the complexity of a drama. She navigated 2 high-profile marriages, first to Christopher Lambert and later to Josh Brolin, both ending in divorce. She transitioned from a youthful muse to a formidable veteran of the craft, finding her greatest fulfillment in motherhood and a more private, contemplative life away from the paparazzi's lens. As of 2026, Diane Lane's net worth is estimated at $40 million. To the audience today, she is a symbol of survival and reclaimed hope. She isn't just the girl Gus McCrae tried to save, she is the woman who saved herself. Watching her now, we see a legend who reminds us that even the most painful trails can lead to a horizon of peace, provided you have the courage to keep riding. Looking back at the cast of Lonesome Dove, we realize this was never only a story about the Old West. It was a story carried by faces, voices, silences, and farewells that stayed with us long after the trail ended. Time has changed many things. Some stars are still here, some have quietly left us, but the memories they created remain untouched. For many viewers, Gus, Call, Lorena, Newt, Dietz, and the others were not just characters on a screen. They became part of our youth, our emotions, and the way we remember great television. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until we meet again on the next nostalgic journey.